Here we go again, you mad dogs. It's the 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix. Watch out for track limits. Part 6 of the mounting evidence against Michael MASI. No wonder they made him sign that non-disclosure agreement. I'm going to play it you through. We are on lap 54. It is a 57 lap race. So let's have a look what happens. Let's have a look.
Behind him, oh no, it's getting worse for Sergio Perez. Can he nurse that racing point to the finish, or is that it?
Pink dot of Perez. His car is on fire.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, it's going to be it. Probably a turbo failure or something. And Alex Albon can literally smell third place.
Alex Albon is going to inherit third place here in this race.
Lewis Hamilton is the race leader. He is now starting lap 55. Remember, it is a 57 lap race. So lap 55, lap 56, lap 57. He's got 3 laps to go from this moment in time. And Perez, this pink dot here at turn 10, he's just about to pull over.
And what a time for Alex Albon to inherit third place in a race for his second podium in Formula One. What does this, though, mean for the Constructors' Championship? And Sergio Perez,
Switch it off.
And what you won't see on this video, but if you actually go and watch this Grand Prix on F1 TV, you will see a marshal run across the track with a fire extinguisher just in front of Lando Norris. Okay, that's clearly a problem. You'll hear the audio of it interjected later on, but it actually takes place now. And you will see the fact that it is highly dangerous, and Formula One learns from these events, and it then sets precedents for how it deals with these. It sets protocols, it sets regulations for how the race director must conduct things for safety, for the safety of marshals, to give the right orders so that nobody dies at a Grand Prix in such a manner. Okay? It's constantly evaluating procedures and processes to ensure safety. Anyway, I'm going to carry on.
switch it off, and someone get a fire extinguisher near that car. Both racing points out of this race. Lance Stroll after a crash. Sergio Perez after an engine problem.
Don't do that. We've got somebody crossing the track behind there.
Yeah.
And we got a safety car. So we've got exactly the situation that will...
So, safety car deployed. Hamilton has got 2 laps and the remainder of this lap to go. What has got to happen? The safety car has been deployed, which means the safety car is likely to be waiting at the end of the pit lane, ready to collect Hamilton when Hamilton next comes around the track. At that point in time, Hamilton will be on lap 56 of 57. What will need to happen is all of the cars will need to bunch behind Hamilton. The lapped runners will need to be then let through. A safety car lap will need to be performed in order to give the opportunity for those lap runners the chance to make it back to the back of the pack, and then racing can resume. Is there any chance whatsoever of there being a resumption to racing to this Grand Prix? And I'll answer that to the strap-on fans that don't understand this still. No. This is guaranteed to be a safety car finish. Now, if you were to go through each of the driver cams and listen to what the teams say, virtually every single one will give the message to their driver: safety car deployed, staying out, staying out. Virtually every single one. Not every single one. Ferrari are atrocious. Their decision making is ridiculously weak, but we know that. You will see Magnussen pit. He's last. He's got nothing to lose. They do effectively just gamble and think, well, if by any chance it does restart, then we've got the tyres. But it's a madness decision because there's no chance of it restarting. It's madness. There's no chance of this restarting. I will tell you that now. But listen to Brundle and Crofty. These two commentators are hype merchants. They are constantly trying to make the viewers engage to think, oh, well, we won't turn the TV off now. We'll just go because that's the end of the race. What are we watching? Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? They'll constantly try and play with your mind. And I'll point out some further examples.
Will the race end behind the safety car, or will they clear that car out of the way and we have one flying lap with Verstappen on his better tyres?
Will we get one flying lap with Verstappen on his better tyres? Zero chance. Absolutely zero chance.
That is exactly what Ted was talking about.
Well,
it's a full safety car, so it'll collect up the pack. But
I would imagine this race is going to end behind the safety car. You've got Leclerc downwards that have been lapped as well, so they won't have chance for those cars to unlap themselves.
You don't have to let them unlap themselves, but that's normally for...
Yes, you do. You keep saying this, and I'm going to evidence it even more because I keep doing more and more research and I keep uncovering more stuff, Brundle. You are such a gaslighting liar. You've got Leclerc in 10th position. You've got Ocon. So Hamilton is at turn 10 with Leclerc just behind him. Okay, currently shown 11th, but we know Perez is out of the race, so that promotes Leclerc to 10th. Point scoring position. Ocon in 9th, just further up the road, approaching turn 11. Okay, as this plays through, watch the gap between Leclerc and Ocon. It's all part of how the safety car procedure works and why the measures are what they are.
Bad weather rather than anything else. I agree with you, Crofty. I think it's more likely it will now end behind the safety car.
They would, because Leclerc is one of the lap cars and he's in between Hamilton and Verstappen. They don't like the lap cars to be in the way of a battle. Otmar Saf now with his head...
It's not the reason, but you keep pushing that same agenda.
In his hands on the Racing Point pit wall. It was a podium that was coming their way. Another podium that has been taken out of their grasp through no fault whatsoever. Otmar, I'm so sorry to have to speak to you under these circumstances. That's just horrible for you in the third place in the Constructors.
Great race today by Checo. He didn't put a foot wrong. It was just unfortunate. Bad luck today for both Lance and Checo.
So unusual for a Mercedes power unit, Otmar. We don't see that happening too often.
No, and it came with 3 laps to go. It's just bad luck. We've got 2 more races. We got to regroup, and it's not over. We can still do it. We got a quick car.
Any indication that it was going to happen? Did you see it come up on the telemetry?
No, not until Checo mentioned it.
Otmar, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate that. This looks like the Bahrain Grand Prix is going to finish behind the safety car.
Okay, Lou, so we're going to stay out. We think this is going to take a long time to clear.
You sure?
There'll be 2 to go when you cross the line. So they still have to let lapped cars through. And there's no overtaking on the last lap.
If we've got the gap, we should overtake it now. If we've got...
No, the gap is now marginal. The gap is marginal. So not going to take the risk.
And I will say, Lewis Hamilton, you should know better. All I will say is, looking back through your career, the number of things that have happened to you, I can understand why you're pretty nervous in situations like this. But the reality is, there should be the calmness, there should be the awareness to realise that this is destined to be a safety car finish, 100%.
You remember this time in the Bahrain Grand Prix in 2019, lap 54, the 2 Renaults had power unit problems. We finished the race behind the safety car then.
So the 2019 Bahrain Grand Prix that I've already evidenced that finishes behind the safety car. We've now got the 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix which we're going to evidence is going to finish behind the safety car. Guess who was race director for both? That'd be you, Michael Massey.
Such disappointment for everyone down at Racing Point, and I think, Martin, for the second year running, the safety car is going to help us finish this race.
Yeah, that car's going to be quite quickly out of the way. Poor old Racing Point, one upside down, the other burned to a cinder at the back, and will we? What happens if their safety car finishes the race? It pulls in on the very last lap so that the winner crosses the line. You don't get all the glorious pictures of the safety car apparently winning the race. So that's right. What happens. But they'll soon get rid of that car. I don't think it's absolutely mandatory to let the lap runners.
I don't think, right, if you don't know, Brundle, don't lie to the world, because that's what you're doing. It's absolutely mandatory. There are reasons. If you don't understand them reasons, you should not be in that job. Why are you in that job? Because you're a hype merchant. You are paid to hype this up. It is truly disgusting, the fact that you are lying. You are lying to kids. You are lying to the fans of this sport, making up random conjecture just to try and entertain, as opposed to informing people of what is really going on. It is disgusting. Absolutely, truly disgusting.
They shouldn't. They should make them fall to the back anyway.
Ted, that's you.
I'm not interested in what you want to happen, Brundle, because that is highly flawed. The things that you are suggesting that you would like to see happen, there are significant arguments which would make it clear to everybody that they are ridiculous suggestions.
Sorry. Well, anything could happen, I suppose, but with despair on the Racing Point pit wall, Otmar Zafnauer head in his hands, they're all looking a bit more chipper on the AlphaTauri pit wall. I think they think that it is going to end under the safety car, and that Pierre Gasly's P6 is safe. Lewis Hamilton's also doubting the call from Mercedes. Mercedes also think it's going to end under the safety car. Oddly, Giovinazzi pitted and lost a place to Kimi Raikkonen under this safety car period, as has Magnussen, but he was last anyway. But, what have we got? 1 lap to go now? It's not going to restart. Surely it's not going to restart.
What have we got? 1 lap to go now? It's not going to restart. Surely. You've got a safety car. There are safety car procedures. You have to comply with them procedures once you've deployed the safety car. If you dealt with this under VSC, you can end the VSC. That's different. Once the safety car comes out, it's a completely different scenario. All the cars have to bunch behind the safety car. Then, if there's lapped runners, they have to be released. Then, the lap after they've all been released on has to be a mandatory safety car lap to give them the opportunity to catch the back of the pack. The race director can use his discretion to make them to perform another lap to enable them to fully catch, but that bit's not mandatory. That's discretionary. That's the 15.3. But then, once the mandatory bits have been completed, then and only then can you resume racing. And I can evidence when that started from. And I'm going to. So stay tuned for a future video. 1 lap to go. And they're still debating, are we going to see any more racing? It's madness.
I wouldn't stake my reputation on it, to be honest.
Crofty wouldn't stake his reputation on it. Well, Crofty, your reputation is going to be blown to smithereens once these videos become mainstream, because the world is going to know what a lying bastard you are. The world is going to see you for the shyster, fraudulent bastard that you are. Filthy, lying to the generations of kids that are following this sport. Disgusting.
There's a guy running across the track. It's the bravest guy I've ever seen. Brave.
So that was Norris reacting to this marshal running across the track in front of him. But that happened immediately as Norris arrived on the scene after Perez had pulled over. And they're only just playing it now. This is F1 picking and choosing when to show to the world the bits of information it wants to show you. Okay, that happened several minutes ago.
Or stupid.
Yeah,
So they're on the final lap.
that shouldn't be happening.
No. It's, very
And after the after the truck on track, the train on track in Turkey last time out as well, that they'll ask why it was that a marshal was seen running across the track.
Lap 57 that we're on now. Have the cars even bunched yet? Have the cars even bunched yet? But in bunching them, Leclerc in 10th. Ocon was just up the road. Where's Ocon now? He's far further ahead. We'll carry on.
Track, and yeah, absolutely, you want to put the fire out as quickly as you can, but you can't be doing that.
Yeah, so we will obviously now finish under the safety car.
We are on the final lap.
Indeed.
So Hamilton will win once again, and Red Bull, never been on the podium in a night race here in Bahrain, will not just take second, but they'll take third as well. And for Alex Albon, smoke that he saw coming off the back of Sergio Perez's Mercedes power unit, well, that will, I'm sure that wouldn't have been a bad sign for him at all. That, Otmar Saf now on that Racing Point pit wall. It's nights like this you really feel for not just the team principal, but for the whole team as well. It had been a super drive by Sergio Perez, who very much deserved that podium. It's not to be.
So Verstappen does get the point for fastest lap as well. And he's driven a very good race, hasn't he, Max Verstappen? But Lewis had it covered out front.
And that's what the Drivers' Championship will look like. Valtteri Bottas ahead of Max Verstappen by 12 points at the end of this race.
Possible rear right puncture.
Valtteri Bottas is running in the points at the moment, and will probably be quite glad that he's behind the safety car if he has got a possible rear right puncture.
Yeah, he should better drag that over the line.
Yeah.
And it looks like Ricciardo, whatever was trapped underneath Ricciardo's car, is still there. I would imagine that might be a skid block that's come undone and twisted round or something underneath the floor, because it all looks like similar material, doesn't it, to the skid blocks.
What a race this has been here in Bahrain this evening. 3 hours it has taken to get to the checkered flag after the red flag and the crash with Romain Grosjean, the safety car for the incident with Lance Stroll as well, and another safety car to end this race. Bernd Maylander will pull over into the pit lane. Lewis Hamilton.
So there you go. It's a safety car finish. So the incident happened approximately halfway around lap 54, which meant 55, 56 and 57. 3.5 laps it took from the incident of Perez pulling over to Hamilton crossing the line. Safety car finish. What would have needed to happen in order to go racing again? Well, look how far Ocon is. This last yellow dot, look how far he is now ahead of Leclerc. So Leclerc's in 10th. He was only, the distance from where he is now, Ocon wasn't as far ahead as turn 1. But look how far ahead Ocon is now. He's all the way around here at turn 13. He's gained all that ground, and actually he'll catch up to the back of the pack, making it almost a full lap. Sporting fairness to every competitor means that you cannot allow a safety incident, right? An incident that requires safety intervention to make a competitor lose the best part of a lap on somebody. You can't enable that. You can't allow that. Hence, you have to do the procedure, which is these cars that have been held back behind the safety car, that have been lapped, have to be released so that they can catch the back of the pack, so they're in line with the cars that they are competing with. And therefore, every car has the same chance of competing with the cars that they are competing with in that race order. They're the rules. So in order for that to happen, and you can see that it's only now that what would be lap 58 that those cars could be released on, which means lap 59 would have had to been the mandatory safety car lap, and they wouldn't have been able to resume racing until lap 60. That would have been 5.5 laps lost. 5.5 laps. Do you know what? That's the average amount of time it takes to resume racing once a safety car has been deployed to deal with a safety incident under the race directorship of Michael Massey. There were less than that left in Abu Dhabi. And I'll prove that with the statistics in my part 3 of the fix. But before then, there's still even more evidence against Massey. So until next time, see you soon.